So if you're curious on any tips and advice on what I learned last semester, keep on watching. So the first few things that I learned is, number one is you should do more research about your classes. For the reason is that I took chemistry twice and I did not pass both times, because the first time I took chemistry, I just selected the classes with random teachers. I had two different teachers, one for lecture and one for lab, and they both had different teaching strategies. One was visual, the other one was more like audio, and balancing those two teachers and the way they teach, it was kind of a struggling moment for me because they taught different ways and they explained stuff differently, so it was kind of hard to comprehend all these stuff. So yeah, so maybe, I don't know if you guys have it, but I know in my community college to do, they have Rate My Professor. So what I do advise is, maybe if you have in your university or community college, check out Rate My Professor. It's a website. If you just Google that, and maybe your university or community college, maybe that's gonna help you. You're gonna probably see all the ratings are from previous students who rate their instructors, if they recommend them, if they don't recommend, what are their pros and cons. And I believe that it's a good way to advise other students if it's worth taking that class with that instructor. Another thing that I want to talk about is be able to learn more about your class. For example, I took last semester Plant and Society, so I didn't really understand what was the class going to be about with Plant and Society in my biology class. But as I got into the classroom, I learned a lot about it. I learned how where the plant's domesticated, things like the pronunciation of the plant, the scientific name, like I said, where they're domesticated, how do they help you, how are they changing our society, and are some plants are currently being extinct due to the fact that they're being malnutrition and things like that. So maybe do a little bit of research based on your future class will probably help you a lot. Number 3 would be make friends among your classroom to help you study and be able to understand a class clearly. For example, if you have the flu or you have a cold, maybe if you have like a classmate that you're not best friends with, but you're an acquaintance and you guys exchange emails or phone numbers, maybe that could help, because maybe you will be sick and your classmate will be attending class, and you guys could pass emails or a text message and be like, hey, this is what we learned. We had this for homework. It's always good, and teachers do advise you to be able to not become friends, but to be able to at least have 3 classmates' phone numbers or emails, just in case an emergency, then you're not going to class, or vice versa. They have your information and you can help them on maybe what they missed or upcoming assignments or things like that. Another thing is ask questions to your structure during the classroom and outside the classroom, due to the fact that maybe you have a question but you're too scared because it might be like a dumb question or an obvious answer, and that's okay. You should never feel like your questions are gonna be so dumb or are like so out of the obvious or things like that, because you never know that maybe you might think of that question, but maybe someone else might have that question as well. So it's always good to ask your instructors questions. If you find something that is kind of hard to understand, make sure that you let them know that you're having a bit of trouble, so they can know that you're interacting with the class, but yet you're also trying your best to learn for that class. It's 50-50, they're giving you the work and they're teaching you, but also it's your job to comprehend and to understand to be able to pass the class, because if you don't ask questions, how are the instructors going to know that you're having trouble or you're struggling? Because of course teachers don't read minds, nor we read their teacher's mind. So and if you feel like maybe your questions are gonna be too obvious, or you feel like people are gonna judge you because of your questions, because they might be dumb or things like that, there's always the opportunity where you could email your instructor, or maybe just wait outside the classroom once everybody leaves and be like, hey, professor or instructor, miss or mister, I had this question, but I didn't want to ask you in front of class because I didn't want it to seem like it's an obvious answer, or I didn't want to make it seem like a dumb question. And teachers love to hear that you have a question. They want to hear that you're struggling, but yet they're there to help you and to clarify any questions that you have. Another thing that I learned last semester is the more you slack, the bigger the pile it gets. I am gonna admit I did slack last semester. I was on the move. I would turn in the assignments before the due date, 2 days or a day before the due date. And then my instructor said it won't count late unless a week after it's due. So then I got the habit, like, if it's due today, I can still get full points. It doesn't count late until the next time that we meet. And that's how, I started slacking, and my pile got bigger towards the end of the semester. I had a lot of reading summaries missing, and I had to do a lot of catch up. So one thing that I advise is do not slack. If you know your priorities, if you have a job, if you have more than one job, if you're a mom, if you're a sibling, and you know that you have other priorities to do besides school, make sure that you do those homeworks before the deadline. Because if you slack, it's just not going to help you. It's not going to help the instructor. It's not going to help you, because the instructor, their job is to help you teach, to help you interact, to help you comprehend what the material is. But it's your job to do the homework, to study, and to actually do good in the classroom to pass. So there's no convenient or reason why you have to slack. If you are motivated, if you have something, if you have a goal, and you know that your priority is not to slack, then doesn't give you an excuse to slack, because the pile does get bigger. You get stressed, you get anxiety, and I know that there's a lot of people that maybe they don't have time to do other classes besides because they're taking 4, 6, 5, or they have other responsibilities, and I get that and I understand. But another thing that I learned personally is I need to fix my slacking and fix my making sure that my pile doesn't get high. I always maintain it at a good level. Make sure that I'm not slacking too far. If I'm not gonna do homework on a specific day, I have to make sure at least I am in a certain decent time frame, or I at least done half the work, and all I have to do is the other half. Or if I've done more than half, then that's great. I deserve some time for myself, because it's good to focus and have priority and keep your mind in school, but it's good for yourself and good for your health that you step away sometimes a little bit outside of school, going out with friends, watching Netflix, things like that. But you always have to remember that the more you slack, the bigger the pile it's gonna get, and you just have to balance. Another thing is that I learned from last semester: don't be that one person that turns all their assignments the day before finals or the week before finals, because that's some of the teachers' pet peeve, is that they don't want to grade all your late work the week before your final quiz or your final grade has to be put in, because you had that all that time, but yet, back to what I previously talked about, you were slacking. If you know you have certain work to do, and yes, some teachers be like, okay, you have this much work, but you have until the end of the semester to turn in all, either if it's on time, either if it's late. Okay, that's nice of a teacher that does that. However, don't take advantage of that. At least prepare yourself. Be that one student. Instead of turning everything before the end of the semester, be that one student that turns everything before the semester. I have previous friends who turned in everything before the semester, and they were top notch, and they really, by the end of the semester, they didn't have to stress about it because they had already turned everything in and things like that. And unfortunately, I wasn't one of them. I still had to turn in some missing assignments towards the end of the finals week, before finals week. So like I said, I do admit that I did slack a little bit during my school semester. So that's one thing you need to focus is don't be that one student, because we always know there's one student that always tends to turn in their whole, from the beginning of the semester to now, a week before finals week. And I know that teachers don't want to sit down for hours, but unfortunately that's their job. But who wants to grade a student's all of their paperwork throughout the semester, all because they turn it in before finals week, because they know that if they don't turn it in, they don't pass the class. My last tip is that always show your work, making an effort and making sure that you at least try and be able to show that you succeed. Teachers are very not mean, not nice, and sometimes they're nice, sometimes they're mean, sometimes they're both, depends who you have. But one thing that teachers want to see, and they usually mention this, the beginning of the school semester, they always say, I want to see that you're trying and you're trying your best. If I see that you're trying and you're trying your best, then I'll make my effort to help you. If I don't see it, then how do I know that I can help you, or that how do I know that you need some help? What you need to do is be able to, even though if you're failing that class, or you're always failing all their tests, but you do their homework, they'll see that you're doing great on these homework, but it's just maybe quizzes, it's just not your thing. Maybe that's where you're lacking, and maybe that's where you and the instructor need to have like a talk and one-on-one chat where you be like, I do good in my homeworks, but when it comes to tests, my mind just goes blank, or I get so much anxiety, or maybe tests is just not my thing, and maybe you have to find other ways to help you score higher. If you don't invest your time, your effort in these classes to show your instructors that you are trying your best in class, they won't know that you're struggling. Because, like I said, they're not mind readers. Also, use your voice. Speak up. Tell them that you're lost. Tell them that you're confused. Tell them that, hey, why am I failing my class? Or why did I get an F? Why did I get a D? How can I do better? What do you advise me? Or what sections are going to be on the test? Let them know that you're asking questions. You're throwing attention to them, being bold and being brave, and be like, hey, I'm not good in this subject. We all know it. You know it. I know it. But, I want to make an effort to at least try my best so I could pass this class. And, yeah. So, I really hope that these, 7 tips that I mentioned right now help you guys. Maybe if you guys are an incoming freshman for University of Community College, I really hope that this helped you guys. I will be doing another video same like this, what I learned for spring semester, since I'll be doing it pretty soon. Spring semester should be ending pretty soon, like maybe 2 weeks, and I'll be doing another video of what I learned from the spring semester. So yeah, I really hope you guys have a great day. I know I'm a little bit late on this video. I was supposed to post yesterday, but yeah, I'll be making another video of my life update, so keep on post on that, and I will see you guys on my next video. Bye guys.